Sometime in the weird years of 2016, a young Porter hero playing me stumbled upon Car Crushers. I played it, had my fun, then never played the game ever again. Until it was revealed to me that Car Crushers 2 had a beta. A game that was already fun, now with the number 2? You bet your buck I bought the beta access just to play the game, and likewise, I played it, had my fun, then hit a brick wall during my grinds, and never played the game ever again. Until sometime a few months ago, I got back into the game and things had changed immensely, and I had fun again. I mean, look at this tank. But when I tried getting one of my friends to play it, it was hard not to take note at how different his experience was compared to mine, and we weren't even that far off from each other. This then got me curious. I have had it good in this game because I've played it years ago, so what's it like starting from scratch as a free-to-play? Now, I don't know if this has been covered recently because I can't be bothered to look it up, but I wanted to do this to 1. Make a video, 2. Have an excuse to delay the War Sasuke video, and 3. Re-experience the game as a fresh player. But because I'd rather not delete all my progress, I'm bringing in my handy dandy old oh my god, what on earth happened to you? Anyways, yeah, with our perilous hero at the ready, it's time we begin our conquest into Car Crushers 2.
I am Zawardo Worm, and I am Zawardo Worm.
Like all good stories, we start at the beginning of our journey, and what are we blessed with? Complete and utter garbage. Now, originally for this endeavor, I was going to spend a total of 3 hours in a server just doing as much as I can, but I ended up cutting that time short to just a little under 2 hours, and you'll see why. Trust me, you will. Anyway, we begin our journey in this 3-wheeled menace, and it's not very exciting. Now, if it's not obvious by the game's title, the whole deal of this game is to, you know, crush cars too. So we do that, and we do it again, and again, and again, and again. Until finally we earn our first car, which is only a tad bit better than the 3-wheeled menace. So for the first maybe 7 minutes of gameplay, we finally unlock the car that I'm going to dedicate myself to upgrading. Now, in the moment, I was under the belief that this car will be an investment for races, because even though I'll get absolutely ripped apart in a race, we're not after winning, we're after participation at the minimum. But I would learn the hard way sooner or later about this belief. But anyways, to make this mundane scrap grind a little better, I continued talking to myself to give some kind of saving grace from the already growing monotony of this grind. I need help. Let's make this our speed demon car, because I need a car to race with. New Crusher, 2 minutes. Oh boy, that's not good. I need to get parts quick. Look at all these people I have to go up against. So screwed. With the power of sheer skill. Skill beats speed. My source is no source. I have no sources. With our Salvio finally maxed out, I can continue actually making money so I can unlock better vehicles. Also, before you ask about Derby, my precious child is not ready yet for the violence and chaos of Derby mode. Also, it's here I finally learned how to look up. Alright, I can see the competitions up there. You need 150,000 money. 150? That's criminal. It's at this point we are finally participating in Rodoro Dada's first competition. What a stupid name. This challenge is pretty easy. All we gotta do is get the longest drift possible, and our reward will be an entire 100 credits. Now, because of how valuable credits are in late game, because it makes upgrading cars infinitely easier, I am not in late game. So credits are practically worthless to me because I'm changing cars so frequently. But something is better than nothing, I suppose. Let's think about it long term. It's an investment. Anyway, let's skip forward maybe, I don't know, 30 minutes to our next competition, and because nothing interesting happened. In this competition, all that has to be done is destroy as many cars in the allotted time, and thanks to the beloved spinning blade of death, along with the fact that this server is full of vegetables, this competition was too easy, handing me not only the easiest 100 credits, but also boosting my grinding speed by at least 3 to 4 times as fast as what it was before. And it's after that competition we hit our first milestone. Radical. Now I just need these 2 upgrades, and I can move on to my next vehicles and hopefully unlock the ability to race, which will be pretty helpful for credit gain. Another competition to boost our grind, and we are already now at 226,000 cash. And after another 12-ish minutes of grinding, I decided to go idle to get myself some food. And as I came back, a race had popped up. This was going to be Rodoro. I can't say his name without laughing. It's such a dumb name. This was going to be his first ever race, and the rewards are absolutely plentiful. The only problem? It's an A-class race, and I only have 2 viable contenders for that. But as I said earlier, we're in it for the participation. Now the difficulty of this race is that it starts off as a top speed race, then changes into a hill climb, and my opponent is using a car with a much higher top speed, so I had to adapt. It's time to race. Let's do it, pal. I gotta hold 200 miles per hour in this car. We're neck and neck. But his handling should be worse because he doesn't have a spoiler and his car is heavier than mine. Oh my god, we're actually like neck and neck. What the hell? Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Hell yeah. Okay, I might have gone overkill with the— oh, I can't see! I might have gone overkill with the top speed, but that should be okay. Because, yeah, no, he's not catching up. Alright, this part sucks. This part sucks, bro. Why does that exist? Oh, speed ahead! Boom. Despite the fact that the race took me basically nowhere, the credits are going to be extremely useful once I unlock a car that I know will be a racing demon. With the bonus cash to get me forward a few cars, we return to the infinitely joyous grind of car destroying 2. Alright, open up. Open up the door. Let's move that aside and get some food in my mouth. I think now is also a good time to talk about why I'm so non-eager about this grind. At the point we're at, we are halfway there from 1 million, which is a big number, but in the context of destruction vehicle dose, that is practically nothing. Here is where we are, and how far we actually went from. And here's how far we are until the final non-platina car. It's pretty evident that the monetary gain in this game is a slog, most likely to incentivize making some purchases on this game to speed the grind up. Where have we heard that before? Now, even though at this point I had only spent about 1 hour and 30 minutes, my will to keep playing the game was lowering and lowering, as I was getting pretty sick of doing the exact same thing over and over, just with a different car. And before you mention the outside, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. The outside world is scary. Skipping forward about 13 minutes, we are in our final competition and the final stretch to 1 million. Row 1. Let's do it. God, it's been this one like 3 times in a row now. But I might actually have some competition this time. Not on my watch. Not on my lawn. Yeah, nah, they're not beating me. They're not beating— no one's beating me here. I'm simply too fast for them. What should I do on my— oh, I'm close. I think this one should get me the new car. The Chevrolet. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! Yes! This is it! I'm about to reach 1 million. Hey, this guy's stealing my idea. Oh, never mind. Frenzy. Did I die? I died. I died. Oh my god, no. Frenzy and demolition. This is gonna be so bloody easy. That was a voice crack and a half. And just like that, 1 million. There it is. Holy cow. 1 million. Too easy. Look at that face of victory. With that competition over, I gave my car the final few upgrades it needs to max it out. Finishing that up, I evaluate my progress I've made in this barely under 2 hours of smashing motor vehicles too. So this is the car we are up to now. So in the span of 1 hour and 52 minutes, we had gone from here, right here, or technically here, because that's the car we started with, all the way down to here. So that means in total we progressed 82 cars in a game where there is probably like 300 vehicles. So that's certainly lovely, to say the least. Oh, and since the core is ready, I decided to call upon myself to begin the core meltdown, so Rodorudada can get his first ever core survival and a massive boost in cash. After surviving that core meltdown, I decided I'll pick this up tomorrow, along with conquering my fears of the outside world.
I am so lonely. No one wants to be my friend. They think I am on.
Huh, it's not so bad out here. Originally, my plan was to spend an hour in the outside world of Driving Destroyer 2, but unfortunately, there's basically nothing I can do because of the roadblocks that are supercars and special cars, vehicles that I either do not have or require the better for. With no options, I had to return to that damned facility again.
The truth is, this is just not gonna end well for you, worm.
Nothing interesting happened. Shocker, right? But nah, on a serious note, the progress made was actually rather substantial for the most part. A tad few races, a failed core survival attempt, and later a successful one, and I found myself at a very large sum of cash, along with my first S-Class vehicle. And I did this in only an hour, so that's pretty good. Anyway, yeah, I didn't really know what my plan was as the closest supercar was millions and millions away. There's also the fact that my vehicles for racing weren't very good either, along with my crusher attainment now being at a complete halt. Yeah, this sucks. Here's some moments of schizophrenia to hopefully alleviate that. You know, he robbed himself, so I am not responsible for that. I am responsible for being a winner. How's this car still intact? I spoke too soon. Also, what's this? I sure hope the game doesn't tell me to like and favorite and whatnot. Like and favorites. It's just so predictable. Oh look, another good car that I can't use because it's VIP locked. Because of the fact that the outside was a massive waste of time, along with my patience running extremely thin because there was nothing else I could possibly do in the facility, I decided to cut my time spent in this game to just an hour. Nothing is convincing me to enjoy any more of this. But before I end this segment, let's quickly evaluate the progress made in comparison to the previous day. So, in the first 2 hours of playing the game, I managed to go from the beginning car to this Nissan, meaning I progressed 83 cars in 2 hours, whereas in this instance, I progressed 40 cars in an hour. Granted, there were 2 races thrown in there, and there were far more demolition challenges on the first segment compared to this one. So, realistically speaking, the progress that's possible to make in just an hour is about the same, potentially faster the further I progress. That doesn't mean the progress made is massive, however, as that puts me at around 120 cars when there's like 300 or 400 of them. In short, I was done for the day, and the next day would mark the final thing left to do in Vehicular Demolition 2.
Stand ready for my arrival, worm.
This is Derby mode. Derby mode is very straightforward. Spawn a car, drive into enemy, wreck enemy. And let me tell you, I needed this. Can you really look at the past segments and think that's enjoyable or fun to mindlessly sit through? Here, I'm actually doing something and have a decent bit more variety compared to drive into Crusher, use Crusher, respawn, repeat. That sucked, and past me would agree tenfold. Not sure about young me though. Regardless of opinions, Derby is a great escape from the monotonous grind of Metal on Wheels Devastation 2. Now, Derby isn't all sunshine and rainbows, as this mode can definitely get annoying at times. But honestly, I'd rather get annoyed than be bored out of my mind, because where there's annoyance, there's fun. Oh my days. Where there's complete and utter boredom, there's rarely any fun. Now unfortunately, because I was already tired of just playing this game and the idea that even in Derby I'm still on a grind, I didn't spend as long as I'd hoped I would've. But honestly, time well spent. I finally got to do something fun and use my cars to their fullest. Well, more like the same 2 to 3 cars, but you get the idea. Now to the keen-eyed viewer, you might have noticed how slow my cash progression was, and that was because I was playing in beginner servers. Now naturally, Derby is not a good money farm because most of the time you won't be using the most valuable vehicle you own, or are locked out from using it. On the contrary, Derby is a great scrap farm for vehicles you want to upgrade. The amount of time it takes to max a vehicle's performance out in the facility versus Derby is incomparable. In maybe less than 2 minutes, I already maxed out my scrap count for this Lancer. In the facility, it would have taken maybe 6 to 8 minutes or even longer. Now on its own, scrap is useless because scrap doesn't increase the value of your car, and accelerating faster isn't all that useful when you'll be changing to the next vehicle anyways. This was kinda established much earlier when I was talking about credits, but in the context of Derby, acceleration is king. You want to constantly be on the move and get as much speed as you can for those collisions. So, in a way, useless feature, but is also the second most important part for the sub-game mode. The first being plow. At its core, Derby is a free-for-all, but there are game modes within as well. The only ones I ended up playing were freeze tag, snowball conversion, bomb tag, juggernaut, team deathmatch, and tank battle. I don't think any of these modes really need any explanation as they're pretty easy to understand. Anyway, I'm running out of things to talk about, so let's quickly go over the last few highlights. Are we all aiming for him? We are, oh my god, we're all aiming for him. Take him down! We're actually chasing him now, let's get him boys, get him! How did he flip again? Oh my god! You know, why not? That's probably the scariest part. You just don't know who has the bomb once it gets given. Oh, it was him! He got stuck! So it's just us two now. If he gets the bomb, he loses. If I get the bomb, I lose. Please be him. It was me. Where'd he go? Did he give up? He just gave up. Look at that face. Face of a victory. At around an hour, I joined Experience Service to finally use my one singular S-Class car, the Corvette. I got chosen as Juggernaut once, got a whole lot of knockouts, made a clown of myself. I'm just gonna risk it. I gotta take this guy down. Never mind. I took myself down and made basically no progress in terms of money, but left feeling satisfied. I spent about an hour and 17 minutes in Derby, and that hour alone gave me so much more joy than the facility ever did. And I think that's Car Crushers 2's biggest flaw. So, what can we gather from this video? To put it simply, Car Crushers 2 is a grind and toes the line of being pay to have fun, or pay to play, whichever you want to call it. Progression is doable without spending Robux, don't get it twisted, but the amount of progress you make and the time you have to spend is egregiously long. Now, some good arguments to be made against me: you didn't spend enough time in the game. I will admit, I did not spend as long as I originally anticipated, but I legitimately cannot bear to spend any longer than what I did in this game because this game gives me so little reason to. It doesn't feel like I'm progressing and the variety in gameplay is very lackluster. You could have done more races, set records of practice driving. I'm already pretty decent at driving games, so that part I don't need to hear. As for racing, there's practically no point to racing as it doesn't aid me in my grind to unlocking better vehicles, and setting records isn't an option as I lack the vehicles to compete for a time. At least for the most part. You're being very biased against the game because your main is already at endgame. My main being at endgame is the exact reason this video is even being made, to highlight how bad a free-to-play player has it during the early stages of the game. Look at all these game passes I own on my main. The grind is infinitely easier than it is with Mr. Cheesehead over here, and honestly, even with those game passes, I was still hit by a brick wall during my grind on my main. Some of you that may have played the game during this time were most likely at a similar point that I was at. Those slow days of being stuck on the Mountain Annihilator, sending it to the black hole over and over, making next to no progress on that money bar. Ugh. Agony. But evidently, it's been improved tenfold since then. The game isn't bad at its core by any means, but there are lots of things about it that make it difficult to enjoy, at least for myself. It's definitely hard to play the game on my main after this because I feel so burnt out from the head empty grind. But if there's one genuine positive thing I can say about this game, the models are very good and always have been. Making cars out of scratch like this and having them be fully destructible is like always impressive to me, because you'd imagine having so many parts would massacre this game's performance, but it proves otherwise, for the most part. Anyways, this video is just about over. If you enjoyed, subscribe, comment your thoughts about the game or something funny, and yeah.